Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, I am absolutely delighted to be joined by a guy that I think is one of the best heavyweight, especially heavyweight strikers in California. When you say that, you're talking about one of the best strikers in the world on an amateur level, man. I'm not even messing with you on that one, Edgar. This is Edgar Barberi, man. How you doing, brother?
What up, bro? Shit, I agree. Nah, just play. You know what I mean? Nah, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, you earned it. Edgar, I'm really excited to have you on, man, because, you know, not only are you a great young up and coming fighter, but you're also, you've got a lot of history with us, man. You
Yeah.
were there. I think you've been there since the very beginning of Fighters Rep, man. You were even there at the fight that I was announcing before I started Fighters Rep. Like, I think you
Yup.
fought on that card.
Yeah, you announced my fight.
Yeah.
Announced us, yeah.
And I was actually kind of helping out with that card, and that was before I decided to, become, uh, you know, a promoter. And I'm really glad I got to do that with you. And you've been there for a long time, competing with us for a long time, and winning for a long
Yeah.
time, man. You've had a lot of great fights with us, wins and losses, mostly wins.
Yeah.
But kind of tell people a little bit about yourself, Edgar, man, because I know you as a fantastic heavyweight talent. But let people know in a nutshell who's Edgar Barberi.
I mean, shit, man, I'm first generation out here. My parents both raised in Mexico, so everything was kind of like still new and fresh to me. Um, Raised out here in East LA pretty much. And yeah, I just always had a knack for striking, the martial arts, boxing really. And then little by little, I gravitated over this way to the Muay Thai world, and then got involved in MMA, and now we're doing it all. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Besides like hanging out with my family and my teammates, that's pretty much my life: work, train, fight, win, celebrate, and then do it again.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah,
And a Mexican American from East LA. You like to fight. What kind of
yeah.
got you into the fight game? I mean, obviously we know about the history of Mexican fighters. I mean, some of the best fighters in the
Um,
world. But what kind of got Edgar Barberi into the fight game?
for me, it was always I would see boxing growing up a lot. There was always the fights were always made a big deal, especially like Oscar De La Hoya or whatnot. And then I grew up watching all the Rocky movies, which are very inspirational.
Yeah.
And then once I think as a kid, young adult, whatever, you always get intrigued by fighting. So I picked up boxing when I was in third grade, and I got in trouble for not doing my homework, just trying to go to boxing only. So he took me out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tried all the different avenues there. Tried boxing a little bit later on in life again. It didn't work out with like the schedule, everything that I had going on. And then once I finalized playing like college football and all that, um, I gravitated just towards maybe boxing, striking, and I came across everything and decided to compete. And that's pretty much how it happened. I just checked it out one day and I asked how long it took to compete, and before I knew it, I had a fight.
So
So
you were a football player as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
yeah, so I grew up. I didn't, again, my mom, first generation, didn't like fucking. Excuse me, I don't know if I can cuss, but she didn't like approve football. So I started off with flag football.
Mhm.
Then eventually went to the next level, played football in high school all 4 years, and then tried it a little bit in college, but had to work, had a girlfriend, and all that stuff. So just not enough time for it, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. And where'd you play? I mean, what high school, what college? What are we talking about?
Oh, I played at Cathedral High School, uh, college prep right here, right by Dodger Stadium.
Nice, nice.
And then I was trying out over at like the West LA school and the ELAC school that I was at the time. So that was really it. It wasn't so much of a competition. It was crazy. It was just more, just didn't have time for it. I had other
Yeah,
priorities at the time.
yeah, yeah. And so your mom didn't really want you started out with tackle football. She doesn't want her young man to get hurt. You
Right.
end you end up a fighter. I mean, what does your family think about that?
I think it's like 50-50, you know? Like you got some people that really like it, other people that are really concerned and worried about you and scared and all that. But I don't think people understand that when we decide to go through this path, like, you know what you're signing yourself up for, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you can't let all that like hinder you from progressing because then you won't. So
yeah.
at least that's how I think about it. I don't know.
No, no, for sure. And you know, like you said, I announced your first show. I remember my first experience with you, man. Uh, was announcing that show in person. You stopped the guy. I think you stopped the guy at that event, and I've seen you stop a couple people. Very not very good hands for a bigger guy. I mean, I won't draw a parallel to Andy Ruiz because
Right.
I don't think you're that big like him. But you are a thicker, bigger guy that is more explosive and quicker than I think a lot of people are prepared for. I feel like maybe you throw some people off, and you also tend to be the shorter guy in most of your fights. Am I right?
Correct.
I mean, how does that make you feel that you got to fight all these giants all the time?
Um, it's cool. It's a little extra motivation. You know, it's never easy, but with the long guy, you just got to make sure that you're sharp and you got the right game plan. So,
Yeah, yeah,
obviously, I'm not going to be able to freaking out kickbox or outbox anybody at the long range because I ain't long like that. So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have to be smart and use whatever attributes I got and little tricks I have, to make it happen. And that's usually works. So, I'm going to keep doing my thing, you know?
And one thing I really appreciate about you, Edgar, is you work the body. You got good hands, which I love. I could tell there's some sort of boxing background there. Like you said, you started boxing in third grade. Got real solid hands. But you work the body, man. Not everybody changes levels like that. We've actually seen you stop someone to the body on one of our shows in what I thought was a really impressive performance. Is that kind of your thing? You like going to the body?
Uh,
What would you say is your kind of thing when it comes to boxing? What should people look out for when they see you
Man,
fight?
I think I'm probably one of the few people that really lives off their jab. Like I think
Mm,
I jab all day, and honestly I just take whatever they give me, whatever's open I hit. But I do like body shots and leg kicks, man. When the leg kick lands flush, it's beautiful. You
yeah,
know, it
yeah.
sounds good, feels good, just like a body shot. When this show is slow motion, dig into the body, and you see everything ripple, like probably those two shots for sure.
Yeah,
But like I said,
yeah,
my
yeah.
jab is, I live off the jab, everything off the jab.
Now, we discussed you being a little bit shorter than most of the guys you fight. I remember at one point you were telling me, man, George, I'm thinking about going down to light heavyweight.
Yeah,
Whatever happened with that? Because, you're on the show today because you're on this next Fighters Rep card, and we're going to get into that. But you're fighting for as a heavyweight and even for a heavyweight title. But,
yeah,
you did tell me at one point years ago, I'm thinking about going light heavyweight. What happened to that?
yeah. I mean, I tried, or I was trying, and then the world shut down. Just kept training regular, but it's hard to like keep the weight down and all that when you got nothing, like no end date for you to compete and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just like grinding, and I got to lifting weights and got heavier. Like I was holding water a lot and more muscle and stuff. So I was up in the 260s for a while, and here I was thinking I was like in great shape. Well, I was in better shape, but I was just heavier. And then started to get ready just because I knew fights were coming back up and everything was opening up. So just wanted to get light, and now I'm trying to keep the weight on. I don't want to get too light before the date. So
Yeah.
we'll see where we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. But for now, I'm trying to worry about this task that I have ahead of me. So it is what it is.
For sure. And speaking of which, April 30th, Edgar
Yeah,
Barberi makes his glorious return to the Lions Den, man. We've created some memories together, Edgar.
yeah,
And you've
yeah. We
had
had some good fights.
oh yeah, you've had some great fights for us, mostly wins, I want to say. I can only think of one maybe close decision loss that you've ever
Yeah,
had with us. That was a really competitive fight with Lou Schwinke, who's now an undefeated professional MMA heavyweight fighting
right.
out of LFA. Got the first round knockout in his last fight.
Yeah,
But that's the only fight that I seen that was even close, where you didn't pull away at some point.
right.
And April 30th. Back in the Lions, then Edgar, you're taking on a
Yeah.
kid by the name of Amal Rasooli. You know,
Right.
he's coming down from Elk Grove. This is a hungry kid. He's undefeated. He doesn't have, you know, well, he doesn't have the experience you have. I want to say that. He doesn't have the
Right.
experience you have yet. But, you know, he's definitely a hungry kid coming from a very solid camp. He's had, you know, a bunch of fights. What do you think about this kid? You know, what do you think about this matchup? And it's for a Fighters Rep title.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I'm excited for one. We get to get back in the ring and compete, which is always like what you want to be doing anyways, especially if you're trying to get to the next level. We got to demonstrate our skills somewhere, like
Yeah,
where else. So I'm glad that everything's opening back up and we got the opportunity with you guys. Um, but yeah, like I tried to do a little bit of research on them. Didn't get much other than like what you said was fucking undefeated. He's a tall kid, and I think he looks like an athlete, or like he was an athlete in high school as well. So it should be a good fight. Besides the fact that he's like really tall, which is nothing new.
nothing new to you.
Yeah, nothing new. So it doesn't. I don't sweat it too much anymore. I just do what I can and I work. So, but I'm excited. Like I said, the title's great. That we get the title as a trophy. But I'm excited about those finishes, man. Like it could be a leg kick, it could be a body, whatever it is. TKO. I really want TKO because it's like, somebody had to step in for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Damn,
wasn't looking
damn,
good.
damn.
So that's my goal. So I'm gonna work. I'm gonna prepare for the 5 rounds. To give everybody a show. But really, I'm just trying to propel my career to the next level, and decisions aren't gonna do it. To be honest.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got to put the work in, and then we're just gonna see. We're gonna have to bang it out and see who wins. That's it.
For sure, for sure. And how do you feel about this kind of being, you know, in your neck of the woods? You know, we're at for the first
Right.
time in at the Commerce Casino on a
Yeah.
Saturday night. It's our first show on a Saturday night in a very long time. It's something we're very excited about. You know, the way you're growing, we're growing as well. Something we're very
Right.
excited about as well. I mean, how do you feel about being able to, you know, throw down like that in front of your people in your hometown?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a little bit crazy. I think more people will be able to support now, or we'll see. Everybody says you always want to fight closer or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see, man. I really do think the support's gonna show up, and yeah, it's cool. It's not that long of a drive. Like my last one, I had to go all the way to Temecula or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. So that's right there. But yeah, I can appreciate it, and there's always something right there trying to represent for the city, trying to represent myself. So at least I take pride in that. We don't got a lot of athletes out here from fucking LA repping like that. Besides D-Rod, and he's been on the sideline a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, somebody else got to help carry the torch. So I'm looking to put on a good show. Thank you for adding more pressure. I appreciate it. But no, that's all stuff you think about. And yeah, but at the end of the day, I control what I can control. So I just get to the gym and do my part,
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, man, we love watching you fight. And if people want to watch you fight, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, get your tickets to Fighters Rep 13. Edgar Barberi is just one of the titles on the line. Edgar, we've also got Anderson Silva's son, Gabe Silva, defending
Oh,
his title
no.
against a very tough Evan Wang. Of course, you guys are on the undercard, but you guys are essentially the main and co-main event on the
Right
undercard, and
on.
then we've got pros at the top of the card. So definitely, guys, get your tickets in the link below or at FightersRep.com. Or you can just join the channel and watch it if you can't make it to California to watch the fight. But Edgar, there's no reason for them not to make it. There's a hotel in the Commerce Casino.
You know what I'm saying? Put some money on it. Come
Yeah, man.
on.
So come
Hello.
watch Edgar. Show some love. One of the
Yes.
most talented, you know, para heavyweights. Again, I want to say in the country or in the world, going to be competing between Amal and Edgar, and it's going to be a hell of a night. Edgar, you're never in a boring fight, bro. You are never in a
Right.
boring fight. Why? I mean, tell me why
I'm
that
a
is.
scrapper.
Tell me why that
I'm a
is.
scrapper, man. I never been one to take an ass whooping. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like I was taught just you're gonna go and someone's gonna get put out, either you or them, or you guys will both just get tired. But if I can hit you, I'm gonna try and hit you more than you can hit me. Pretty much, you got to fight to the end. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it just comes with being Mexican and all that. Like it's just kind of already in your
Yeah, yeah,
DNA. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I want to win. I think it's just a drive to
yeah.
win. You know, like is that I think it's that glory, like that feeling of victory, that freaking that we chase, that high. Like there's nothing like it.
Right,
You
right.
know.
And speaking of, and
So
speaking of pressure, Edgar, there's a
yeah,
title on the line. It's going to be the first ever Fighters Rep heavyweight title, since we've gone over to kickboxing. Um, and you're fighting in your backyard. I mean, does part of you feel like you're defending your territory? Because he's coming down from, I think it's Elk Grove. I mean, does part of you feel like I got to defend my territory in front of my people here in
nah, I
LA?
mean, no. I just gotta represent. Gotta let them know what's
Yeah,
up. You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Everybody's welcome. Just don't start no shit. You know?
I
you know?
love it. I love it.
Straight
I
up.
love it.
That's just how it
And
is.
Edgar, you're also representing. I mean, you mentioned D-Rod. You're representing the Yard as well. Still,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been at the Yard since I've known you at the Yard Muay Thai. Even though you've kind of bounced back and forth, with
Yeah.
regards to the disciplines between kickboxing, Muay Thai, and MMA, you've
hmm
consistently represented for the Yard. What does that mean to you to represent for the Yard?
Yeah, man. It's like I take a lot of pride with that, like with my gym. Cause I wouldn't be where I am like without their training, obviously, and then just like their guidance and their opportunity. And it's also like a dope gym. Like you want to be here, you want to show up. So I don't know. It's just like the ambiance and like my coaches. Like I like to see their face. So like when we win or when we do good, like I like to make them proud as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I think I really that's what it is.
yeah, yeah. Well, Edgar, I want to talk a little bit about, what people should expect in this next fight. And I think a good segue into that was, what you told me before this call, what you just said a little bit ago. You're looking for that TKO. You've got that finisher bug. You want to finish
Yeah.
people. You're coming off of a finish in MMA. Am I right? You just recently had an MMA fight where you got the finish. And
Yeah.
before that, at Fighters Rep, you also had a finish. I think it was the body shot finish, if I'm
Yeah.
correct. And you're coming for these finishes. It sounds like you want to make a statement before you head into the pro ranks. I mean, tell me what's going on in your mind with that.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you watch everybody that's been successful or is getting these opportunities, it's because they're drawing eyes to themselves. So at the end of the day, like that's what this is. You got to get seen. So decisions are cool, but you ain't gonna get seen like that. Like especially just if it's on paper. Oh, decision win, decision win. Like if you have a TKO, okay, it looks a little better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So just stuff like that. Trying to set myself up. Like I feel like I kind of spoke this or I put this out in the universe. I was trying to fight as much as I could. And then boom, I got a fight out of nowhere. It's kind of short notice. I was like, yeah, let's take it. Won that. I'm like, all right, got to rest. Now we got. Then you offered me the fight, and it's like, all right, like it's crunch time. Like the shit's happening. You asked for it. The shit's happening. Now all I got to do is win.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
I just got to do is win. I got to do my part and win. And then like I'm looking at this like as a launching pad right now. So I'm trying to go pro this year. Like I have a goal and everything. So that's the plan. Like get some finishes, get noticed and get picked up by an organization where you can negotiate yourself a little bit,
Man,
really.
that's what I like to hear. That's kind of what I was getting at next. I felt like you do want to go. I feel
Yeah.
like you've had a lot of fights, relatively speaking, in the amateur
Yeah.
game between MMA and striking, and I do feel like you are starting to round that corner where you got to start thinking about when you're going to go pro. And so I
Right.
really like to hear that. Is there a chance we get you on a pro card at some point?
Hey, hell yeah, you guys offer it to me. I'm down. You
I
already
love
know.
it. I love it, man.
Can't turn down no
For
fights.
sure, man. For sure. Well, I really look forward to having you on, Edgar. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. I love the fact that you're going for the finish. I think this kid, Amal, is a tough kid. He's coming to fight as well. And it's interesting, he brings his, Afghan contingent. You've got the Mexican American and the Mexican contingent. I think it's going
Yeah.
to be a lot of fun. It's the North versus the South of California, and it's two big heavyweights fighting over a title, and two of the most talented heavyweights, in my opinion. So we look forward to it. Edgar, is there anyone you want to shout out? Anything you want to say, man, before I let you go?
Man, I just want to shout out you guys for giving this opportunity and the platform. You know, if you guys want to like keep up with any of the training and the build up to the fight, you guys can follow me on Instagram at it's Edgar Fu underscore. Or you guys want to go see me do some goofy stuff on YouTube, it's just at it's Edgar Fu on YouTube. So that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for having this
And
on.
I love that you put yourself out there on Instagram and on YouTube. I think that's so important, Edgar, and I hope you keep that up, man. You know, we're always going to be here to promote you as best we can, but I do think the fighters, doing it themselves is very smart. Edgar
Yeah.
Barberi, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to tune in and watch him throw down on April 30th at FightersRep 13. Thank you, Edgar. Appreciate your time, brother.
All right,
Have a
brother.
good
Later.
one.